Good afternoon, super friends, and welcome to the Sacred News and Weather, the second edition of the day. This is Monday, April 20th, and I'm coming back in. I was here in the wee small hours of the morning, still in my PJs, and I delivered a longer message with a little bit of Aramaic chanting at the end. And I'm coming back today, first of all, because another message for us came through that feels pretty important. And secondly, just to celebrate, I realized that today is the 1 year anniversary of my debut here on the YouTubes of the Sacred News and Weather. I had been doing it in a slightly different form in my Facebook group, and I made a big transition right around this time last year. I left my nursing career behind and I stepped into my spiritual and healing work full time. And this is the 1 year anniversary of this channel. So I thought I would come back and channel to celebrate. It's also, I don't know if you can see, maybe I'll hold up my camera here. It is a spectacularly rainy day here, and I'm celebrating that too because I have to say, I am someone who is very pressured by the sunshine. The sun is shining in the sky, and I feel like I need to do and go and go. And it's been real work this last year, unwinding that programming of, oh, if the sun is shining, I must be moving. I must be moving my body. I must be working towards something. And I've really been practicing sacred rest this year. And whenever there's a rainy day, and we're not going to have many more here in Northern California until next winter. So whenever there's a rainy day, I'm like, oh, I think I'll take a bath. I think I'll make a cup of tea. I think I'll be a little bit slow. But I do have another call coming up here soon. So I'm going to dispense with this afternoon's message a little more expeditiously than the one I delivered in the wee small hours this morning. So I'm going to take a sip of my tea. Mm. This is coconut chai from Magic Hour Teas. I have no affiliation with them, but it's delicious. It's with a little bit of oat milk and some honey, and it's yum. Mm. All right. So, my little preamble, if you haven't memorized it by now, take what resonates, leave the rest behind. These messages are timeless. So, whether you are receiving it in real time or you are receiving it at some later date, there is likely going to be something here for you. However, if you're not finding yourself, go ahead and turn me off. I'll be back. I can assure you I will be back. And there's a lot more below this message if you want to look for something more appropriate for you. So, closing my eyes and just relaxing in. This morning, an image of the Temperance card came through, and I could tell that there are many of us here, myself included in this collective, who are in the process of alchemizing something, alchemizing an experience, alchemizing a new way of being, really coming into balance with your divine masculine and your divine feminine, with all that is dark and all that is light in your system. And remember that neither one is bad or wrong. They are just in opposition, and shadow doesn't necessarily mean negativity. Shadow just means what we cannot see, and the darkness is what we cannot see. And we need the darkness to know the light, and we need the light to know the darkness. And we all have all of it inside of us. But I could feel that wrestling match inside of many of us this morning. And what came forward in my bathtub meditation not that long ago, my hair is still wet. What came forward in the bathtub this afternoon, or this morning, I guess, is there are two things, maybe three. We'll see where they go. But the first thing that I wanted to say is that part of what is happening collectively for all of us, and I was reminded of this somewhere. I don't know if I scrolled through it or if someone, one of my dear ones who's an astrologer, mentioned this, but Pluto, the planet Pluto, has been in Capricorn for the last 19 years, and it dipped back into Aquarius for a while last year, and it's back in Capricorn. And though it is leaving us, or maybe it has already left us, I'm not an astrologer. This stuff just comes forward, and so I'm sharing it. So forgive me if my details are not perfect. And if you're an astrologer, feel free to come in and name this directly. But the essence of the message for us is that you spent the last 19 plus years building something. And the thing about Capricorn in Pluto is that as soon as it's done being built, it wants us to release it. And so a lot of this sort of in battling and this feeling of like something new is coming forward and I'm leaving something behind and I'm alchemizing something. I feel like so much of that energy right now is likely related to the last 19 years or so really being dedicated to, maybe it's a career, maybe it's art, maybe it's a relationship, maybe it is all of those things. But sorry, there was just a very loud bang outside. Uh, Regardless of what it was that you were building, Capricorn and Pluto, and I'm pretty sure it's this, wants us to release it once it's built. Like, okay, you did the thing, what's next? But our human self doesn't quite know how to release that easily and that swiftly and that cleanly. And so a lot of what feels like is being like moved through us right now is this 19-year cycle, which by the way, we're going to be in the shadow of through February of next year. So even when it officially moves, I think it might officially move at the end of this month, which is why it's up. Um, but we're going to be in that shadow through February of next year. And it's asking us to just like let it go, let it go, let it go. Whatever it is, it's done, it's complete. And our human self wants to hold on to what we built, but our human self and our spiritual self, and especially our spiritual soul self, is urging us to build the next thing, maybe even before we feel in our human forms ready. It's like that feels like the gist of the what we're struggling with right now. The other feeling that is so prevalent in my own life right now, that also feels very prevalent in the collective in similar ways and in different ways, but the feeling is the same, is that many of us are waiting for something. We're waiting for an answer. We're waiting for a job offer. We're waiting for a baby. We're waiting to know if we're pregnant. We're waiting, 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 waiting. And what I was shown in the bathtub today, I was reminded of, I have an image of myself pregnant with my firstborn, my son. And I'm in the bathtub in my old home, which was this beautiful claw-footed Victorian bathtub. And all you can see are my knees and the bubbles and my belly sticking out of the water. And I was reminded that what we do as humans, we tend to wait anxiously, like we tend to fret, we tend to go into our minds and buzz and blah, 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 like and all the noise and like, what's the outcome going to be? What is it going to be? I want to know. I want to know. I just want to know. I just want to know. And it's this buzzing, buzzing, buzzing. And then maybe we're like researching the different possible outcomes and we're talking to our friends and we're journaling and we're like, what is it going to be? What's the answer? And there's just all this noise. And I saw this image of my belly because that was a point in my life where I could have waited forever that way, in that way. There was this feeling of everything is right everything is for me. There's this beautiful baby boy, and I could like feel him moving in the warm water. I could feel the water moving around me. And I really felt like I was sitting in Alha Rakme, that womb of compassion. I was sitting and being held in this beautiful womb space. And at that point, I was largely prepared for his birth. I think I was probably 8 months pregnant, but he came right around then. He came early. He came 4 weeks early. So it wasn't long from that photo until when he was born, and I thought I had longer to wait. But I was just so content and I was so happy. I've never felt more beautiful in my body than when I was pregnant. And I just remember that feeling of not waiting anxiously and like nervously and trying to like claw at knowing what the future was going to be, but waiting as the most beautiful gestation period, waiting as preparing my body, preparing my space, preparing myself energetically for this little boy who was about to be birthed into the world. And we're being invited in this waiting to allow ourselves to prepare to receive whatever it is that we're waiting for. So rather than scrolling anxiously, pacing, like I can feel the itchy rashes. I can feel it in my own body. I could feel when I was in the bathtub, I could feel my heart racing when I was thinking about it. And I was like, is the water too hot? And it was like, no, it's not the water, it's the energy. It was like, la, 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 la. And we're being invited to really let that kind of waiting, that anxious, I need to know what's it going to be, what's the outcome going to be, how is it going to feel, if it's bad or wrong, how's it going to feel, if it's right, what am I going to do? Rather than fretting, we're being invited to prepare ourselves in whatever way we can to receive what might be coming for us, whether it is that job offer or it is a rejection. My personal viewpoint on preparing to receive something is to always go to the highest version of what it is you desire and to hold the framework, to hold the belief that what you desire is what you are about to receive, and to not worry about a plan B. I think I've channeled this message here before for us that when we start thinking about a plan B or the other things that might happen if we don't get what we want, that's where our energy goes. So if you can prepare for whatever it is you're waiting for the answer, for an outcome, for a job offer, for an offer of love, for whatever it is that you're waiting for, a school acceptance. I just heard somebody's waiting for to be accepted into university. What I'm being told is to prepare yourself in either very small steps, like what one thing can you do today to prepare yourself to receive the message fully and to hold yourself in such a way that you understand, you know, in your bones, in your body, in your being, that the highest possible outcome, regardless of what that outcome is, the highest vibrational outcome is what is coming to you. And even if it's not what you think you desire, there's an invitation to trust that it is for you and to prepare yourself to receive whatever it is that is for you in such a loving, such a gentle, such an open and spacious way. And again, it always comes back to what it always comes back to in on this channel and in my world is that surrender and trust piece. We do nothing for ourselves when we're sitting in anxiety and we're worried and we're just making ourselves crazy. It does nothing for us. It brings the outcome no closer to us. It brings our desired outcome no closer to us. And it just keeps us spinning and busy and using up energy in a really unhealthful way. So today, whatever you can do to wait as if you're gestating, to wait as if you're being held in a womb of compassion, to wait as though what is being born, what wants to be birthed, is the very thing that is meant for you. Even if your human self can't quite recognize that as the truth, let your soul self, let your connected self run the show from a place of surrender and trust. And I think I'm going to leave you there. Please, oh, please, if you resonated with this message, like and share and subscribe. I want you all to know that I'm going to be reopening my Facebook group, which I let lie fallow once I opened this YouTube channel, partially to recover from burnout because I was spending a lot of time on social media, and partially to spend more time device free with my kids when I gave up my 50-hour a week job with my 20-hour a week commute. And I decided that I just wanted to spend time with my kids and not doing this. So I let it go, but I am now rebirthing it in its new form. And I would love to have you there. So I'm going to post a link to join me there down below. That it is going to be very much a space where I am helping you to really connect with your own magic. So it's going to be less the Dana show and more the how can I help you connect with your own gifts, with your own magic, and to tune out the noise of the world around you so you can get to the truth of who you are and lead from that place rather than a place of reacting to the noise that's all around us. So that's what I have for today. I will see you tomorrow, maybe. Bye bye.